Present.
Thank you. Well, I have to tell you that all of you are so inspiring, and oh my goodness, I can tell you I have so many friends who are teachers that find the creative ways to inspire their students through music, through physics, through all kinds of things, and it is the art of passion of teaching that will really move our country forward, because when you grab those young minds, you've grabbed me. I'm like ready to take your class, and there you go. And so thank you, and your passion, all of your passion is infectious, and you need to go around the country talking about this. And Senator Capito and I did introduce a bill, Building Blocks of STEM, to help get young girls, pre-K through 12, involved in STEM education. It should hopefully be passing in the House, and the President will sign that into law. We'll get some things moving. But we do, in Nevada, have a wonderful woman, Dr. Elizabeth Hausrath, who is a research geoscience professor at UNLV. So she got the bug early. And so we know that currently half the states in the United States, including Nevada, only receive less than 10% of federal R&D funding. The NASA EPSCoR, it's a joint federal-state program designed to allow more states to participate in space and aeronautics research, building upon what the kids learn in the younger grades. So we received $100,000 at UNLV to study minerals found on Mars. Like I said, geoscience professor Dr. Elizabeth Hausrath, she's a role model for so many. We've been featuring her. She's leading this research project, and she was selected by NASA as one of 10 scientists who's going to choose which rock and soil samples from Mars that are going to be brought back to Earth. And so the President's budget proposal, it terminates this NASA's Office of STEM Engagement, and significantly is going to cut NASA EPSCoR. So we know we're going to do building blocks of STEM. We're going to try to provide grants and help for teachers and schools and bring this up to scale, we hope, around the country. But what do we do if we can't, if we terminate this project? Where do we go from here?
A very practical thing I might say. As the PI of the mission, Psyche, and by the way, speaking of gender, I believe I'm the second woman to ever win a competed deep space mission. I really feel strongly about
Congratulations.
this. And the first was Maria Zuber, who I'm sure many of us in this room know, my friend and mentor. We are allowed to take a percentage of our PI-led mission money and use it for undergraduate education and outreach. And so that was something that I mentioned in my testimony. But that could be expanded beyond the undergraduate. If the missions could also then reach K through 12, could reach out to communities with that money, if that money was just allowed to be used in a broader sense, that would immediately be perhaps a simple way that we could help with the potential tightening of the NASA budget.
So maybe offering internships and scholarships for people who are going to graduate school or undergraduate, that they can come down and help teachers like this do some great things in their classroom, give them those extra skills.
That's exactly right. Our 550 undergraduates we've had involved in 2 years, that could have been 550 undergraduates and 550 high school students or middle school students. That would begin to make a difference.
Well, thank you. And so I guess what I want to ask each one of you and all the different areas that you work in, how can we here in Congress help you get the next generation inspired to reach for the stars, if you will, right? Because that's what NASA is all about, and thinking about that, using that imagination. And so we're the policymakers, we're the lawmakers. Not everything, you can't legislate everything, but what can we do to help you inspire that next gen, please?
Yeah, thank you for your enthusiasm, Senator.
I'm a former computer programmer. I like the STEM stuff,
We have found at both NanoRacks and DreamUp that, first off, the NASA opens doors. I mean, I have unfortunate news that not all of the American public likes all of the American government. Okay, this is news for you, but NASA still opens doors. And NASA must be there as part. I mean, it's a wonderful brand. It's a wonderful history. And no matter where we are, when we say, you know, we're working with NASA to go to the International Space Station, people smile. I mean, there's just this trust of what NASA has been, is, and will be. So what I would say from your vantage point is, I don't want to see NASA go away in STEM. I mean, so many governmental organizations have STEM outreaches, which is wonderful, but NASA is a special part of our government, and they have such a proud history. So we have found that contests inspire when it's something real of going to space. This is just from our vantage point.
I watched the moon landing, and so I know what it inspired.
When a student can be part of something that involves the launch of a rocket or whatever, satellite or whatever it is, that's inspiring, and we need that NASA, the history of NASA to be there to continue to make them motivated. So,
Please, yes.
So I just want to tee off of that because I think that's really, truly important. You know, NASA is uniquely positioned of really any federal agency to capture, you know, hearts and minds of students at a very young age. And I think this also connects back to the gender gap discussion we were having a few minutes ago, that, you know, even before the students get to Ms. Condino, reaching back into the middle school, that's where you begin to see some differentiation happening based on gender. And I think trying to reach back into the middle school or even elementary school, you know, through NASA and the allure of NASA, that might be a powerful thing for our country, yeah.
Ms. Condino, what do you think?
On a teacher standpoint, I think it's reduction of all of those tests. And instead of focusing so much in the classroom in teaching to the test because it's mandated by the state or the government, why not allow us teachers to create all of those, you know, STEM initiatives and projects and have the kids put their minds in participating and doing activities that are like that.
Experience-based learning. I like it. Thank you. I yield back.